From the campus of Washington Township High School in Washington Township, New Jersey, the Gloucester County Educational Network presents high school football. Tonight, it's the Minutemen of Washington Township hosting the Clearview Pioneers. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partner, Shawn Leary. A beautiful evening tonight for football. Cool and crisp, just as it should be. The wind will certainly play a factor. Two teams that have their own surprises throughout this year. Clearview headed by Mark Deal and Washington Township headed by Mark Wechter, a pair of Marks, both coming from Gateway High School, and really a tale of two teams, and some might argue headed in different directions.
Yeah, right now it's surprising. You look at the Washington Township record at 1-4, and some of the losses you look at Cherry Hill East and Lenape, you kind of scratch your head and say, where's the Washington Township we know and love? However, they've struggled against some of these teams, and you really wonder, is it, the graduating seniors from last year, the lack of a passing game? You just got to say, where is the holes right now for Washington Township, and how can they fix them? Well, they need a quick fix tonight against Clearview, a team that they have a 2-10, I think 2-10-2 record against all time. They finally get Clearview in here. The Pioneers are excited. They're playing against another Group 4 school, which they haven't done well so far this year against Group 4 schools. So it's a very interesting test between both teams. Washington Township needs a win. Clearview does as well because they're trying to get into the playoffs. With Cherokee on the schedule next, Clearview needs a win tonight.
Well, you mentioned before that Clearview really needs to step up against a Group 4 school. This will be a great test. Washington Township with that great tradition, that great pride, and they're going to be after the quarterback for Clearview. His name may be familiar, Eisenhart. There's quite a few of them running around.
Yeah, there certainly is. If you're from Clearview, you know the Eisenhart name. But George Eisenhart's a big kid. And one thing interesting about him, now we got Clearview in a new system, and they got that flex bone where he has to make a lot of reads, and he's done very well in that position. George Eisenhart is not only an athlete, but also a really smart kid, and you need that in this type of an offense. Everything is off of a read, so you're going to see a little bit of a different look from Clearview. George Eisenhart, perfect guy when you're changing your system. You got a new strategy in place. Perfect type of kid, good, smart kid who's going to be in that quarterback position, who's going to handle the football for you.
For Washington Township, they are led by Nick Valori. He's very familiar with this offense, has started for some time, and he's looking to get these guys right back on track.
Well, Nicky kind of reminds me a little bit of a guy at Glassboro, Timmy Haggerty. Not the biggest kid, but a real strong arm. Last year really lit it up with a terrific receiving core. Struggled a little bit in the passing game this year, and that's a little bit for the reason why Washington Township has struggled. But one thing Valori's going to give you is effort. He had 3 touchdowns last week. They think that possibly now this is going to catapult him into this game, and he's going to do real well. Terrific kid with a big arm. They can throw the football, and he's not the biggest kid, but he's got a pretty big arm.
Well, stick around. We'll have the opening kickoff for you in just a moment.
Bunker Hill Middle School.
Welcome back to Washington Township High School, about to get underway. Clearview will be kicking off. They'll be going from your right to your left. Clearview in the traditional gold trimmed in hunter, and royal and red go the Minutemen. We're about to get underway here from Washington Township. Kick is away and will be taken just inside the 10. It actually bounds out of bounds, so good field position to start as a penalty thrown on the Clearview kicking team. And there you take a look at the Washington Township coaching staff. And they are led by Mark Wechter. That is not Mark. A record of 1-4 in 2010.
Nonetheless, a good-looking fellow, though. He's got his headset on. He's ready to get into this one. And, Rob, this is, I think, a really important game for both teams, obviously, with a 1-4 record and Clearview standing at 3-2. They need a victory, both teams, but especially the Pioneers. I mean, this would really say something for this new era with Mark Deal as head coach.
First snap is on the ground, and Valori is taken and dropped for a loss. Well, tonight we have our hands full, Shawn. We got the dark numbers against the dark uniform, and Clearview's roster is...
I don't. You actually have your hands on, because I don't have to make that play-by-play call.
Temperature 57 degrees, wind of 5 miles per hour west. That should pick up throughout the evening. Cloudy skies here in Washington Township High School. Second down. We'll call it 12 for the Minuteman, working out of the shotgun, quads right. Rocket screen taken, and a little juke inside the 35-yard line, brought down to the 37. And you get an idea of Cordell McGinnis's elusive ability.
Yeah, he's a terrific player, and he's had to pick up. They had Robert Dim last year and Adam Marcucci on the outside for Washington Township, and I think that really helped Nick Valori out. He had a terrific year last year, and one of the guys when McKinnis coming back, that helps out, but he's kind of had to do it on his own. He's looking for somebody else to step up in that passing game.
Again, setting up the screen pass, a little dump inside the 34, some open room, but still on his feet, finally brought down after a pickup of 1 or 2 yards, and it's 3 and out here for the first series of the Minutemen.
Yeah, there has to be a lot of emotion going down for Clearview. I mean, you look at Washington Township and some of their rivals. Let's take a look at this play right here, and they're just going to try to get the screen set up. Good call by Wechter and his staff here to try and get something in the open field, but Clearview does a nice job of corralling, making sure that play doesn't end up to the outside. You see the gang tackling, which is still well known here for the Pioneers, always flying to the football.
Charlie Huff, the recipient of the Valori pass, and again, it'll be the Minutemen to punt it away. A low end-over-end kick picked up at the 25-yard line. Clearview still returning the football and brought down at the 34. First down and 10, Pioneers, again led by Mark Deal. Deal spent some time at Gateway High School, then went on to become an assistant at Delsey, and is now taken over for what you and I always talk about, the legend of Coach Pidcock, just one of the true class acts in all of high school football.
Yeah, he's done a nice job coming in. He's had a terrific win against Winslow Township. And you look at that win, and that really jumps out at you when you look at the Clearview schedule. But there's George Eisenhart, 6'1", 180-pound senior, a kid with really good size, able to look over that defense and throw over top of a defense. And it's balls in his hands tonight. I mean, this type of offense. He's going to have plenty of reads. And you just hoping as a coach with Mark Deal, you're hoping he makes the correct reads.
Well, a little belly to Clearview and a pickup of just a yard.
That's Dan Garwood. He's coming back off of a high ankle sprain. He's missed the last 2 games. Against Shawnee, he got dinged up. He had 2 100-yard rushing games in his first 2 games of the season. And then they had to use a bunch of different fullbacks, and that's kind of put them, set back that offense a little bit, especially they're trying to learn new offense. 3-2 on the season. Mark Deal, you see him. His first year as a head football coach here at Clearview. He served as an assistant at Delsey last year.
Right up the cut into the secondary, all the way down inside the 20-yard line, finally brought down. And again, it's Garwood with the huge pickup.
There's Dan Garwood going straight up the middle. Once he gets past that initial
gain of 44 yards on that carry by the fullback.
He's not going to be able to outrun too many of the secondary players, but he's able to get deep into Washington Township territory, brought down eventually at 21, Johnny Murat.
Garwood, all of 6'3", 225 pounds, a 44-yard gain, and Clearview already here on the first series deep in Washington Township territory. Eisenhart keeps, and he'll pick up 2 or 3.
Number 7, the quarterback, Eisenhart on the quarterback.
Eisenhart, as you mentioned, a senior, also playing free safety. And we've seen a number of Eisenharts through the years as we've covered Clearview football. And
brings up 2nd down, 7 yards
there
to
you
go.
get a good look at head coach Mark Wechter from the Washington Township staff. We mentioned in the open, both Wechter and Deal cut their teeth at Gateway High School.
Well, actually, I think Deal came from Audubon at first. And
his teeth weren't cut quite yet.
Okay, he just like, just maybe a little chip or something.
That's right, but you are correct. He did start at Audubon. Eisenhart, a quick drop, slant inside, across the middle. Is he in? No signal as of yet. And they are going to down him just inside the 1-yard line. Eisenhart finds his receiver, and Clearview continues to march.
Nice pass here. You see Eisenhart going to drop back 3-step, fire that ball out there, and he's put, look at it, right on the chest of his receiver, and is he going to get in? Just short of it. He's got a couple inches. I'd be surprised here to get the quarterback keeper with either Eisenhart or let Garwood touch the football.
And Eisenhart keeps. They're going to try to push him forward. Touchdown. George Eisenhart on the opening drive for the Pioneers with 7:39 remaining in this first quarter. Strike first.
set up a huge run by Garwood, and I'll tell you, there's got to be a lot of emotion on the sidelines at Clearview. Rob, I know this game probably means a little bit more to the Pioneers than it does for Washington Township. Clearview always feeling like the stepsister to Washington Township here in the county.
And the kick is good. So Clearview takes the lead 7-0 from Tyler Murray's extra point.
Clearview 7, Washington Township 0.
You knew Clearview was going to come out with a lot of passion, Rob. I knew that in some other sports, Clearview and Washington Township have developed a pretty nice rivalry. I know in hockey it's even gotten a little heated at times, but this is a nice rivalry that's starting to brew. You always see the Washington Township-Williamstown rivalry and the proximity with one another, but Washington Township and Clearview, I think, is going to generate a lot of excitement over the years just based on the fact that these are two Group 4 schools in Gloucester County. A lot of kids certainly know each other from both of those townships that have played against one another in different sports. So this is certainly going to be a very interesting battle tonight, but one that I think Clearview might have a little bit more of emotion to start this game. Washington Township, you know, they've already faced 4 losses, and they've been finding ways to lose a game. They had a lead against Lenape last week and managed to fall victim to a Lenape comeback. And they're going to need to come back of their own, already trailing in this one, but they have plenty of time, obviously, here in the first quarter. But not a way you want to start a football game is to go 3 and out and then allow the opposing team an opening drive for a touchdown.
Clearview to kick it away, and this one will be taken inbounds at the 14-yard line. Minuteman find a seam, still on his feet, and finally brought down to the 28-yard line. And that is Washington Township's Dan Simnor.
You know, what's interesting, too, is, and a little bit surprising to me, is Washington Township looked a little bit confused on that drive with a couple of plays, and they had faced a Lenape team, Rob, last week who has a very similar offense to Clearview, actually identical to Clearview, where they're going to run that flex and allow the quarterback the read option play.
Laurie hands it off, trying to string it outside, and just absolutely nothing there. Dropped for a loss of a pair of yards, and you get a good look at that Clearview defense. Charlie Huff on the carry, and absolutely nowhere to go after Connor Donahue, the sophomore, shut things down.
Well, it starts with the defensive end on that play, and he's going to slow that play up. Anytime you try to get to the outside, the play needs to develop quickly. And right there, the defensive end's going to disrupt the play. Nowhere to go, no time to get to the outside.
Valori throwing underneath, and again, nothing doing. This will also lose a couple yards. And right now, Township is going in the wrong direction.
Number 7, Dan Simnor.
Simnor, the recipient. And here early, you have to be impressed with this Clearview defense, Sean.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they are still an attacking style defense, not as much as what we've seen in years past from a Clearview team. They play a little bit more of a zone. You know, they stunted like crazy. They were kind of like a Buddy Ryan defense, constantly stunted.
Valori throws it, has a man wide open. He hits him on the run and into Clearview territory as Matt Long catches the long bomb from Valori.
Matt Long.
Well, there was a breakdown in the defense because Long found a seam and literally sat there, and Valori found him.
Long's dad played quarterback at Washington Township and baseball years ago, so I'm sure he's had plenty of catches, and just a nice job with Valori that time. And Valori's going to see something open downfield, and the smart thing is he could have ran with the football, but he wanted to make sure that he had the opportunity to give his receivers a chance downfield, and Long takes full advantage of that. He has a brother, Ryan, that also plays football and baseball with him.
First down and 10 for the Minutemen at the 37-yard line.
Mom, Mary Jo Long, is in the Washington Township Hall of Fame, played softball and tennis. Good genes.
And now, timeout called by the Pioneers. So Mark Deal didn't like what he saw offensively, and you know, let's talk a little bit about the season because it has been extremely disappointing for Washington Township. You know, this is a team that traditionally is a power in Group 4, and things have not gone their way. They started out the season losing to Winslow by the score of 32-13, and here you see the scores on your screen. You know, Winslow, everybody expected to be something special with Billy Belton. Cherry Hill East, then all of a sudden you start to shake your head. Eastern having a down year. One of those teams going into that game knew was going to continue their winless streak. And I think Washington Township felt like they found their stride again. And then Cherokee just delivered a knockout blow. And I'm not sure that they rebounded last week against Lenape. I think they were still hurting from the Cherokee game.
They haven't lost on this field to Lenape in 10 years. So that just goes to show you that, you know, this is a season where you look at the Cherry Hill East loss, you look at the Lenape loss. You're not accustomed as a Washington Township fan to seeing losses, but you know what? It's teams that were from the American Division traditionally with the Olympic Conference. These are good football teams. We had this conversation. I had this conversation today with the tennis coach who you might know, and that's Kemry over at Eastern. And there's so many good teams at this level that you can have one of those seasons where things just don't go your way, and teams will catch up with you.
Valori getting pressure, flushed out of the pocket, dumps underneath, has his man still on his feet, finally thrown out of bounds is Cordell McInnes.
You're going to get
now
a
late flag here. And again, this is something that Clearview has to avoid, because the last thing you want to do is wake a sleeping dog.
Right, you're exactly right. Right now you have some momentum going in your favor, and I know Sean Riley there probably wants to take that back, although you like the aggressive style of trying to get the man out of bounds. The senior needs to play a little bit smarter football that time and ease up when you're along that sideline. You see Valari, good arm strength that time, Rob, kind of running backwards. Nice, strong run by McInnes. And right there, I mean, you know you're out of bounds. You just got to lay up on that play. Not a smart play from the Clearview Pioneer senior.
Minutemen now with control of the football at the 16-yard line. Red zone territory here against the Pioneers. 5 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Pioneers on top, 7-0. Two receivers split left, the pitch, and it's Huff. Huff finds a seam, squirts through, and he's in. Charlie Huff. Well, the Minutemen threw Clearview a little knuckleball there with Huff. Seemingly going through the air all night, and now they run it in for the touchdown.
I knew you were going there with Huff. Now I just know, because not that I'm old enough to remember Charlie Huff, but I do remember some of my baseball encyclopedias reading about him and his knuckleball. It's nice. You did a good job for your first one of the night.
Well, you can see even the Minuteman is quite happy after that run by Huff. On to attempt the point after and tie things up. And the kick is up, and the kick is good. We are knotted at 7 with 5:14 remaining.
That was a terrific run by Huff. You're going to watch him here. Watch the vision by this kid. You know, he's really quick and elusive. Watch him cut upfield, be patient with his blocks, and this burst right here. Boom, right through the hole. Able to scamper into the end zone.
You got to give credit right there to Lee Robledo, too, because he had a nice lead block that really opened up that hole for Huff. And we are tied at 7. And again, you know, you have to go back and you got to break down a couple big plays there, break down defensively, and then that personal foul. It looked like you had Township back deep, 3rd down and 14. And just from one play, the complexion of this game has changed already.
A couple teams are looking at Huff at George Mason. Now, he doesn't have the size, but certainly that speed, Rob, that you like from a running back. I'm sure he'd be able to give it a chance to play a little football again once he graduates. I just love his agility, his field vision, the way he's able to see the whole field and let the play develop. I mean, that's really a guy who you like to have as a running back. Not always need the fastest guy, but you certainly want a guy who's going to be able to be smart out there, set up his blocks, and then that quick burst, and you got that from Charlie on that particular carry for a touchdown.
Clearview back to receive, and they will take it inside the 15-yard line. Big hole here, down the near sideline, across midfield, and finally stepping out of bounds was Clearview's number 9, their returner, Troy Sicca.
Also, nice job by Isaias Murphy, number 2. You're going to see a little block here, but everything opened up right in the middle of the field for him. I mean, Troy's going to be able to run up the middle and say, wow, I got a lot of room. Cut outside, and you see right here. Nice job by Murphy, the block on Dan Simner, and allowing his Pioneer brethren to pick up some big extra yardage in Washington Township territory. The Pioneers would love to respond here with another touchdown, put them back on top, and they have terrific field vision, field position, and field vision. They got both.
Penalty flag on the play.
This is certainly not the way you want to start your drive, Rob. I mean, we talk about penalties and how costly they are. It's going to be offsides on the defense, and that certainly helps you drive.
Well, penalties certainly hurt Clearview, and now Township seemingly returning the favor. 5:06 left, tied at 7 here at Washington Township. Two receivers split wide right, and Eisenhart will keep still on his feet, and he'll have more than enough for the first down.
You know, one of the things, Robbie, there's a big transition, obviously, and I'm not going to get into too much about Pidcock area now, Coach Deal's era, but one of the things that are very similar and familiar with both schools, or both offenses, is so important to have that fullback. You know, we've always seen Clearview with a big fullback, a really strong position for the Pioneers. Absolutely essential to have a very good fullback in this type of a flex read option where you're going to be able to try to stick in that belly or pull it away and run the option. There you see Eisenhart just keeping it on this carry. But the fullback is so important. They lost Garwood for 2 weeks, and that really hurt them with the Shawnee game. And he comes back and certainly brings a boost to this offense. But they have a couple of guys that they've lost. You look at Clearview and the job that Deal's done. First game of the year, first quarter, they lose Mike Kerball, who's a running back and linebacker that for the season with a shoulder injury that hurt his labrum. So you have the guy you lose there. You have a two-way lineman, also not that they lose for an unseeable amount of time. So 2 huge injuries. I know injuries are part of the game, but especially to start, you know, with all kinds of new offense in place, a new defensive approach, to have injuries early for the Pioneers was detrimental. And for what he's been able to do so far, it's remarkable how Mark Deal has been able to get things together here for Clearview so early.
3:35, clock ticking. Second down for the Pioneers, and it's Garwood bowling his way forward.
Number 45, the fullback, Dan Garwood.
University of Monmouth, Delaware, Colgate looking at big Dan Garwood. Wrestler also plays lacrosse.
Ball spotted at the 23-yard line. Clearview moving the football successfully in their first drive, and once again here just kind of pounding it. Little surprise, Sean, Clearview having the success right up the middle. Typically a strength of the Minutemen. Eisenhart will hand it off
on the carry
to Sika, and the ball comes loose.
Fumble on the play.
No signal as of yet. And it's Washington Township football. What's interesting here is it looked like Sika lost his forward progress when the ball came loose. We'll take a look on the replay.
Sika getting that ball popped out of there, and again, Clearview with a couple of mistakes. One mentally on the Washington Township drive, one physically here is trying to get to the outside. Good wrap up with both hands on the football, and then nice job by Washington Township going after the football there, Rob. And I think you might have seen Robledo, who was going after the football, number 1, is able to pop it out. But you're right, he was held up for a little while.
Ryan Willis did a nice job filling that hole as well. And there you see Valori finding his receiver, complete to Matt Long. Long and Valori hooked up earlier on the big play.
Long trying to establish himself as that secondary receiver to McGinnis.
There you see Minuteman Nick Caldwell being tended to. Valori hands it off inside, and it's Huff. And again, you see that little burst of speed that Huff possesses.
Well, if Huff is able to get past that initial defensive line, he's going to pick up 5-6 yards. There's no way you're going to be able to stop that because of how quick he is. By the time the linebacker or the secondary comes up to hit him, he's definitely going to be picking up 5 or 6.
First down at 10. Again, the 4 receiver set and handoff right up the middle. And Huff has absolutely nowhere to go.
Outstanding job by that Clearview defensive line. Going to try to see who that was. It's, like you said, difficult to see the Pioneers' numbers. But a nice job by the left side of that defensive line for Clearview, being able to get some penetration, shed the block, and then wrap up with both hands eventually.
Valori out of the shotgun, rolls to his left, has his man underneath, and that'll be more than enough for a first down as he hooks up with Dan Sibnor.
You see these guys like Sibnor, Huff, and Long, you know, that not only being able to catch the football, but being able to run with it after the catch. Great speed from these outside guys. See Valori rolling to his left. Watch the strength. They're just going to be able to find the open receiver. The spread offense is becoming more popular, Rob, with a lot of teams, and becoming less popular is these teams that are going to be running the football like Clearview and Leonard.
Valori again rolling out, eludes the first rusher, and it's tipped up and knocked down by Eisenhart as Garwood put a lot of pressure on Valori.
Looked like he might have had Jordan Parra, actually, number 8, who might have been open, but elected to go to McGinnis. And, you know, sometimes when you're looking to go to your big play wide receiver, Clearview Pioneers knowing that some other guys should be open. It looked like Parra might have been open on that play, and just Valori might have missed it.
2nd and 10. 67 seconds remaining in this first quarter. We are tied at 7 here at Washington Township High School. And in many ways, a must-win for both teams.
Well, absolutely. I mean, for Washington Township, just to salvage part of the season. For Clearview, even a chance that the playoffs are going to need to win this one.
Township looked like they had a little trouble getting the play in. And they will take their first time out to discuss things. And here you see the Clearview Pioneers. They made a statement early against Cherry Hill East. A reminder, East defeated this Washington Township team. Then at Pennsauken, a good Pennsauken squad defeated the Pioneers. Shawnee, always very difficult, but the game that really turned heads was that Winslow Township win.
Oh, huge win for Clearview. And that's without Garwood the last 2 weeks with Winslow Township and Highland. So that even makes that win even a little bit more eye-opening when you see that you're able to beat not only Winslow Township, but probably, I guess people would argue, maybe your best offensive weapon in Garwood. At least as far as numbers go. The kid, you know, starts off with 2 100-yard rushing games. First 2 games of the year, he goes down with an injury. You think you're in trouble. It just goes to show you the depth of that position that Clearview has.
2nd down, Valori pitches, and they'll string it outside, and caught from behind and thrown out of bounds. Township will pick up 2 or 3 yards. The ball carrier Huff once again. You see Eisenhart
on the stop, number 8, Sean Riley.
Along with Riley on the tackle.
And what's important for Clearview is to just try and improve each week. As you know, some of these kids are going into an offense that they were unfamiliar with, and the little nuances, all the details that are going to go into not only playing an offense but a new defensive scheme for some of the seniors is to you know, to try and learn some of these details that would make a successful flex offense, and also the zone defense.
3rd down and 7, 20 seconds left. Valori again sprints to his left, sets up across the middle, has his man in and out of his hands and almost picked off. You certainly can't fault Valori, as threw the ball right to the numbers of Dan Sibnor, in and out of his hands, and they were lucky to avoid the interception.
Especially if you're going to miss miss the ball. You don't want it to hit off your shoulder pad. Gives the opportunity for one of the secondary guys to come up,
Number 19, Ben Pesci.
pick off that deflected ball. You see good strong arm quarterback again, Valari, off the shoulder pad and almost into the arms
of Sika. Well, he's done a nice job so far, has Sika. And he'll be back to receive the punt. Short end over end, angling for the sideline, and this did not work out too well for the Minutemen, as this will result in a net gain of maybe a yard or two. So ball spotted at the 35, a 2-yard punt there. And you know, when things don't go right for you, it seems like they all fall apart. You look at that call, and some people are going to say, well, you know, Wechter should have went for that. Yeah, it's not his fault. I mean, you're trying to pin Clearview deep in their own end, and, you know, didn't work out as planned. First down and 10 for the Pioneers with 8 seconds remaining in this first quarter. And Eisenhart will hand it off to Garwood, who will be stopped after a pickup of about 4 yards, and that'll do it for this first quarter. We'll step away from Washington Township, where the Minutemen and the Pioneers are knotted at 7. Welcome back to Washington Township High School. Clearview and the Minutemen tied at 7. Eisenhart pitches, and another first down here for the Pioneers, as they are once again in Washington Township territory. Eisenhart on the option play, and Clearview's offense has been impressive here early.
Yeah, just want to mention Clearview's playing with a heavy heart tonight. 2 days ago, one of their teammates, Jim Bell, his father had passed away, and I know a lot of those guys, you know, want to dedicate this game to their teammate's dad, who was the kid's senior, and we wish the best for the Bell family as they go through that grief.
Eisenhart on the quarterback.
Eisenhart stopped after a very short pickup. We'll call it 1. Well, that's obviously devastating to anybody, let alone someone who is so young, and it's tragic, and we wish the best to the Bell family, as you mentioned. Second down and 9 for the Pioneers.
Carry by Eisenhart. Second down, 9 yards to go.
Three receivers set. Again, Clearview lined up with one back, and now Sika will come around. Eisenhart pitches. Sika cuts against the grain. Still on his feet. He'll pick up about 4 or 5, and that'll bring up a third down of about 5 yards.
See, one of the keys in this defense now, Rob, is as a wide receiver, you know, maybe for Washington Township, your responsibility is go out and run your patterns correctly, make sure you catch the football when it's thrown to you. But Clearview a little differently in this flex option. You're not going to see too many passes. One thing you have to be able to do is block downfield. So you look at some of these receivers for the Pioneers, you can see that they're good blockers, something they worked on throughout the entire preseason, certainly going into this year. They knew the responsibility going to change a little bit in this type of an offense.
Third down, a long 5, Garwood. And it's Eisenhart, slant, has his man inside the 10-yard line, down to the 5. And a penalty flag here. We may have a face mask on top of it, but Eisenhart showing off that arm, hooking up with his receiver, and a nice job there as he finds Sean Riley.
Nice job by Riley making up for that penalty we saw on the Washington Township drive. You know, Eisenhart's a big kid, but he doesn't have a strong arm, but he puts this ball perfectly for Riley to be able to not only catch the football, but run after the catch. And you get the face mask toward the end here, but a good job by the Pioneers not only setting that up, making sure that Riley got one-on-one with the cornerback, beats him to the inside, and all Eisenhart has to do is put the ball in the numbers there.
Johnny Morad with the face mask there. First down and 10. I should say first down and goal here for the Pioneers. Ball spotted at the 3. And we had some movement. Offsides Township. They'll make Clearview's job a little bit easier here.
Riley going to attend the go into the United States Marine Corps when he graduates.
Eisenhart will hand to Garwood. Garwood, he's stacked at the line.
Backed up at the 1-yard line.
Well, this is a big series for both teams. As Clearview needs to push it in, and
Second and goal after 2.
Township trying to make a critical defensive stand. Full house backfield, and it's Eisenhart who keeps, and he's in for the touchdown. The fake to Garwood, the linebacker's bit, and Eisenhart has put the Pioneers ahead 13-7.
It's the obvious decision by Eisenhart to be able to pull that one back into his own chest, catapult himself into the end zone for the score for Clearview. But again, you got to make that right decision for the Pioneers. He's been making them throughout this night. He's done a pretty good job throughout the season. Two brothers played quarterback also for Clearview. So this is a kid who coming into this year and coming into his high school career knew a little bit about the position.
Murray's kick is up, and Murray's kick is true. 14-7. The Pioneers have doubled up the Minutemen here, and here you take a look at Township. You can really see how they bit on that fake to Garwood.
Yeah, an outstanding job by the left side of that offensive line for Clearview, but they're no one home for Washington Township. That time you get George Eisenhart, a big kid at 6'3", 6'4", against a corner. He's going to win that battle most times. A little bit of offense here, Rob. These games weren't, you look back at the Washington Township Clearview rivalry back in the 70s. I don't think these teams have played since 1972, 73, right around there. Wow. Those games were like 6-0.
It's your junior year.
Yeah.
Connor Donahue is someone that, again, that this is an offense that is multi-talented. He did a nice job stepping in and picking up. You mentioned Garwood not around for that Winslow Township game, and he scored the critical touchdown there. But, I mentioned the name because Clearview, in order to be in this position, it's not just Eisenhart and Garwood. There are so many elements here that have really contributed to their success. And, again, you have to feel, we're still early in this game, Shawn, but if they come away with a victory here, I mean, this is a team that's going to be flying high.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Washington Township, again, you always feel like second best in the county to the big brother, Washington Township, inside the county. So it'd be nothing but a huge celebration of Victory Hill if Clearview was able to pull it out.
Murray's kick taken inside the 10, and the ball comes loose, but I believe it was whistled dead. Dead ball, and it is Township possession, first down and 10 for the Minutemen, with 8:55 remaining at the 22-yard line for Valori. And this offense, we mentioned before that Valori has been at the helm of this offense for quite some time, and last week.
Yeah, terrific week with 3 touchdowns, Rob. Probably was his best showing of the season.
Valori back in the shotgun. Penalty flags appear from everywhere, and he is sacked. Last week, the 3 touchdowns.
Number 51, Brian Donahue.
Mentioned Brian Donahue. He comes up on that sack. There's another flag that goes down, Rob. This is going to be after. It's going to be a post-play foul. This might be another 15 yards. against the Pioneer sideline, maybe. Not exactly. We'll get the call here.
That illegal participation penalty against Clearview. 2 men on the field. Moves the ball to the...
Too many men on the field for the Pioneers, so that may explain the sack there. First down and 10, Valori. And the direct snap going.
Yeah, Clearview, the interior part of the offensive and defensive lines for the Pioneers have done a pretty good job tonight. Not allowing Washington Township to get much up the middle, and conversely, on the offensive side of the football, they've got a real good push. You got to give credit to some of the guys on the inside. Maybe not the biggest guys, but certainly right now getting the job done against, like you typically say, one of the better interior types of lines. Brian Donahue in the middle of that line, only a sophomore.
Trips left for Valori out of the shotgun. Second down. Quick drop. Valori has his man underneath. There is a penalty flag here. This play may come back, and that'll be enough for the first down. We'll see what the call is.
Well, there was about 10 yards between McInnes and the cornerback on the outside, which is Riley.
Penalty flag on the play.
And I know McInnes, you got to respect him and his speed on the outside, but give up 12 to 15 yards right off the get-go. It's easily spotted by Valori and gets the quick hitter.
Procedure against Township.
The illegal formation against Washington Township nullifies that play.
Well, we mentioned, you know, when things aren't going right, the difference between a championship team and a team that struggles is sometimes just such a fine line, and you have breakdowns in communication, little penalties, and all of a sudden first downs become second down and 13. Valori working out of the shotgun again with his 4 receivers. 2 split both left and right. Another penalty here. Illegal shift this time. And Valori on his feet. He's brought down violently. And this play will come back as well.
Rob, I don't know about you, but it's difficult where we are up in the booth to get a sense of a sideline or anything, or a crowd for the most part. But I don't know. I'm picking up just a stagnant feeling right over here on the Washington Township sideline. Not only from the sideline, but the crowd. It just doesn't seem like your typical. I know you're 1 of 4, but see here they're going to be able to bring down Valori. Going to be declined for the Pioneers. So this play will stand. A nice tackle on the outside by Sean Riley.
Third down and 9. Valori. Nice job by Keeps. On his feet. Valori. And he's taken down about 4 or 5 yards shy of the first down. Well, getting back to what you said, Sean. Usually you come to Washington Township, you can literally feel the energy when you come into the stadium. Today had a little bit of a different feel, and the feeling has only dissipated. There's really very little energy from the stands. And I think any football team, certainly this Washington Township team, but any football team really feeds off of that energy.
Yeah, not much coming in, and certainly not much now. The cheerleaders trying to do their part, but I mean, it's just not the same type of feeling. I know 1 and 4 certainly plays into that. It's a pretty big game.
And here's more trouble. The punter drops the snap, and he's going to be taken down. He still had time to get that away. So
some big problems in that kicking game right now, Rob. You give Clearview another short field already with a 7-point lead, and this just isn't the type of Washington Township program that you're used to seeing. And that's going to happen sometimes, Rob. So, you're going to eat. Sometimes it's going to eat you.
Well, their special teams have had some serious issues, allowing a big kick return, a punt that lasted went all of 2 yards, and then a fumbled snap. And Clearview again with excellent field position. Eisenhart keeps into the secondary. On his feet, first down, Eisenhart.
One thing about Eisenhart, and he's so big at 6'3", 6'4", I'm not too sure exactly what you want to call him there, but he's a big kid, good size. And if he's able to square up and turn up upfield, just the size of him alone is going to pick up 2 or 3 extra yards. This time he's able to make the right read, get to the outside, get beyond that defensive end, keep the ball himself. And the option of also going to the outside and pitching it to his halfback, but he's able to keep it, turn it upfield into 10 or 11-yard gain.
First down and 10, Pioneers inside the 30-yard line. 6:05 remaining in this first half. Clearview looking to add to that lead. Eisenhart again right up the middle, and Clearview exploiting the middle of that Minutemen defense.
I love the call on first down to give it to the big fullback. You know, he's going to pick up 4 or 5 yards, Rob, if he doesn't break one off. Now you got second and short. You can do a lot more at this position of the field. And this is a really good spot to also be able to throw the football. You know, they always like that slant play at this particular spot on the field. And because you're at the 20, it also you have the depth right there. You're able to spread the defense out a little bit. The secondary's not bunched up. The linebackers aren't backed in. So this is a good spot to also throw the football.
Second and short, Eisenhart, a drop, throws to the end zone, underneath, and it's picked off. Picked off. Well, that is a huge play by the Minutemen defense. Mike Hill and the crowd with something to root for here. Interesting play call because Clearview had absolutely pounded it down their throat. They tried to switch things up and it backfires.
Like I said, it was a terrible position to throw the football. It's not the spot you want to throw your football. I mean, this year you're trying to just float this ball to the outside. It just wasn't a terrific throw by Eisenhart. You know, right there you got to try to throw it off your receiver's left shoulder. Now, I don't mind the play call there. I'm not too sure about going to the outside and lofting it up one-on-one with your receiver, maybe something over the middle of the field where you have the room and the slant's been working for you.
Well, you have to credit Hill. He had excellent coverage and then turned around, read the receiver's eyes,
right,
came down with the interception. And that's the type of defensive stop that the Minutemen frankly needed.
Right, and you're right. I don't want to take anything away from Hill because that is a really nice play by the cornerback to be able to locate the football, turn himself around, and make an outstanding play on the ball. So it wasn't so much a bad play call as you want to give it more to the defensive player being able to make that play.
So the penalties continue here as Clearview gives up 5 yards. First down and 5 for the Minutemen at their 25-yard line. 5:14 left in this first half. And Valori under center here. Hands it off, and it's Huff who will be close to the first down marker.
And what's interesting, you know, I always ask the kids, you know, what's your strength, what's your weakness? And Hill says, you know, one of the things that he's good at is being able to recognize and react to something. And he does a terrific job of doing that. He's able to recognize that he's in a pass play. He's able to react to it and be able to pull down the football and get that huge pick. I mean, think about how important that play is in the game. Clearview go up by 2 touchdowns against the Township team that's kind of reeling right now. You know, that can be a huge momentum swing for Hill. Kid is not the biggest kid around, but certainly Hill trying to inspire his teammates to kind of turn this thing around.
Draw play. Maybe 2. Huff again getting the lion's share of the work in the backfield for this Minutemen offense. Second down and 7 for the Minutemen. Coming onto the field is Valori, getting that play from the sideline. And Clearview's defense has been impressive, as we mentioned early, yielding just this 1 touchdown thus far on a couple of defensive breakdowns and a key personal foul. Valori again will hand off and finding a seam on his feet into the secondary, cutting against the grain. Once again, you see the impressive elusiveness of Huff, brought down at the 29-yard line. A big pickup. 38-yard run by Charlie Huff.
I love watching this kid play. You know, you love these little scat backs, Rob, and what they're able to do in the open field. You can watch him here again, just to be able to turn it on. He's going to break through. Watch the cut here. Boom. Right to the outside, turns around the Pioneer, gets to the outside, and he's just going to set this guy up. He's going to kind of stroll along, try to cut back and get some extra yardage. Then you get a personal foul. You see that the end of the play there by Washington Township on a real headsy play.
Well, it's gotten a little chippy here early.
You know, Huff is just like one of those sandlot players, Rob. We're making all these moves, and it's just fun to watch on the field because if you're doing it in organized play, it's a talent and a gift that, you know, not many players are able to use. That type of speed, being able to use your body, being able to be under control and make those other guys miss. And it's fun to just watch a guy like Charlie.
Ball spotted back at the 44-yard line. 15-yard penalty assessed against Township. Valori under center, I formation. Valori keeps, rolls to his right, gets some pressure. Now Garwood misses. Valori still on his feet. Valori still dancing, still across the 30 to the 20. Cuts against the grain. Valori now brought down and got back all of those yards they had lost and more. Nice job by little Nicky Valori.
Well, I love these guys. You got Huff and Valori, and the two things you notice about both those plays, they're just not going to go out of bounds. These are guys that aren't the biggest guys, but you can see the strength and what they're going to be able to do. Get to the outside, and then I'm not afraid to come in back to the inside and get a couple extra yards. You like that from your quarterback. That's great leadership from Valori. Not only the wheels to be able to get to the outside, but the strength to cut it back in and take on a couple Clearview defenders.
A number of Pioneers had a chance to bring down Valori, but came up empty.
Almost getting that ball stripped out. There you see there. Got to make sure you hold on to the football. If you're cutting it back to the inside of the field, make sure you have both hands wrapped securely on that football. Almost ripped out of there.
6 missed tackles on that play. 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this first half. I formation. Valori hands off, and Huff is cut down. You know, it's interesting, Sean, because they run that spread, and it seems like they've had more success with Valori underneath center than out of the shotgun.
Well, right, and they have in those positions, and one of the things that's really, and it might be just strictly coincidence, because on the plays that they've had some big plays, one of the things they've done with Valori is Clearview's done a terrific job of packing it back and making sure there's no place to throw the football. When the play breaks down, that's where Valori can be very dangerous. You have to make sure those defensive ends contain him to the inside, but he's such a great athlete. He's going to run through those arm tackles.
Huff pounded at the line, still on his feet, cutting, eluding, and finally being tackled. I tell you what, that's a lot of work on the part of Huff. You have to credit him with his perseverance.
Yeah, he ran into, looked like ran into the back of one of his offensive linemen, bounced off, and again, trying to find some work on the outside, not able to get there. Lost him a couple yards and brings up again another 3rd and long situation.
This may be 4-down territory. Their special teams have really let them down thus far. Valori again out of the shotgun. He'll roll right. He has time. Valori now will pull up, gets flushed out. On his feet, Valori. And he's brought down back to the original line of scrimmage.
The zone defense by the Pioneers doing a terrific job of not allowing Washington Township to shake loose downfield and give Valori a good look to pass the football. Nice job on this particular possession in coverage by that Clearview defense. Going to be an interesting call here. Looks like they're going to opt to go for the field goal route. Got the foot to do it. Trot him out there with a minute 28 and counting here.
They're going to have to call timeout here.
That's all right. No, what they're doing is just...
They're just eating up clock.
They're eating clock and trying to get that down as far as possible. Stop it with a minute 17 left here before halftime.
And that's a good job by Mark Wechter and the coaching staff to use up as much clock as possible. Pioneers will get the football back regardless of whether they score or not here.
That first game against Williamstown promotes breast cancer awareness. The JV game begins at 12 o'clock, followed by the...
This field goal will be approximately 36, 37 yards. There is a slight wind.
Imagine, you mentioned John Morad Jr. Johnny, his dad played high school football here. Washington Township graduated in '91. You see a lot of kids with some Washington Township roots. Saw Nick Caldwell down earlier, number 43. Trying to find out the status on him, because that's another key loss for the Washington Township Minutemen. I don't know if you can see him, but he's kind of stretching out down near the bench area. They haven't had him for this half.
36-yard field goal attempt by Palestino. His kick is long enough, and it is good.
That's a terrific job.
Oh, Palestino's had his ups and downs tonight. The 2-yard punt, the drop snap, and now a big field goal. And it's a 4-point game, 14-10. Clearview on top.
14, Washington Township 10.
Nice job by Valari in a couple of those plays that broke down. He was able to, pick up some good yardage. Of course, the big run by Charlie Huff set up that field goal. But how about the play by Hill in the corner of the end zone? You got a 4-point lead that could have been a 14-point lead for the Pioneers, possibly going into half. They still have 1:13 to work with, but a nice play by Hill in the corner of the end zone. I mentioned him a couple times. This is a kid that really you can root for. Hill's just a really good kid. The way he approaches life, some of the things that he talked about on his form and crediting other people, just a kid that seems like he gets it early on. When he makes a play like that, you feel good about it.
Ball fumbled and regained at the 18-yard line. Still on his feet. Special teams have been a problem all night for Township, cutting across the grain. The 45, the 40, to the 35, still on his feet, and finally brought down at the 23-yard line. What a fine, fine run by Sicca, and Township's got to be sick of seeing him already.
It's a matter of time. I knew you were gonna pull it out.
I tell you, I don't think he saw the last Township tackler there.
Well, I don't know if he saw him, but I don't. It seemed like Washington Township didn't see him, because there was a couple times where the opportunity to tackle him, and where did the tackling go for Washington Township? That was just a poor job. And special teams play right now really hurting. Red, white, and blue.
First down and 10. Eisenhart. Quick drop across the middle, tapped and caught.
No.
And it's ruled incomplete. Little surprised they're going to the air again here, Shawn. Eisenhart's pass falls incomplete. Still plenty of time here, 55 seconds. You have an opportunity to call a couple plays on the ground, call a couple plays in the huddle, use your timeouts.
Well, I think Coach Steele and his staff is looking at the same things we had seen earlier, which is you have an open spot in the middle of the field. It's going to become more difficult to be able to pass the football as you get a little deeper into territory, because his linebackers will pack in, the secondary will suck up, and then you'll have problems being able to pass over the middle. The fact is, they do have plenty of time to be able to run the offense.
And Eisenhart fumbles the snap. And right now, things are not going right for Clearview. 48 seconds and ticking. And a timeout called with 46.3, third down here for the Pioneers.
Going to take a look at this kick return again. The Pioneers doing a good job, and right here, this is where this shouldn't happen. You have guys who are kind of running around, and just when you get that get the blocking downfield. But right here, this is where he should be down, right about there. Somebody's got to be able to jump on his back and bring him down before he's able to pick up another 20, 25 extra yards.
And you look, he kept looking to his right. I don't think he realized that he had someone there to his left. And again, John Montejardi with a big touchdown tackle, a saving tackle for the Minutemen. So third down and 12 now for the Pioneers with 46 seconds left at the 25-yard line, 24-yard line. It's probably outside of the range of the Clearview kicker. They're going to need to pick up some yards here to try a field goal. Garwood in the backfield, Eisenhart Play action. Rolls to his right. Keeps. And he's sacked.
Good job. Looked like it was Anthony Costa. Jumped in on that play. Number 94, the big guy. Trying to flex his muscles, able to pull down Pioneer. And now with a 4th and 16 with 21 seconds left here, Rob, what you can do is call timeout, maybe heave one up to the end zone. If you get it down to about 3 or 4 seconds.
A little surprised at this because, again, should they get a first down, the clock stops. So now if they get a first down, they're tackled at the 1 yard line, the half is essentially over.
You have the lead, right? You have the lead right now, and I know you don't want to give up on a half, but you don't make it. I've seen Charlie Hoff where he can take it the distance in a hurry, and that would concern me as well. You know, how many times have you and I been calling Comcast games where at the end of a half we've had a game that just completely changed the momentum with one play? Not saying that it's going to happen here. You obviously want to put you guys in a position where you trust them, but still, I think this is the right call. You let it take down to 5.3, and here you have an opportunity maybe to heave it up to the end zone. But you got to be able to make sure that George Eisenhart, your quarterback, you know, if you're going to take a sack, make sure you hold on to that football, secure it. Do not allow somebody to punch it out and go the opposite distance for 6.
Coach Wechter aligning his defense here. You see 5 seconds remain in this first half. The Pioneers on top of the Minutemen, 14-10. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary bringing you exciting high school football on the Gloucester County Educational Network. Eisenhart with Garwood in the backfield. And Eisenhart will roll and throws, has his man, and that'll fall incomplete. And that gives us 1 second essentially remaining, 9/10 of a second. Not quite sure about that play call either, Sean. Again, you know, you're thinking kind of a Hail Mary in the end zone. And that's a play where if you complete it, probably going to get a first down. The clock's going to run out. If it's intercepted, you have free sailing down the near sideline.
1-9-0-4-5-0.
Tough tonight, man. It seems like you had a bad day.
No, we get the opportunity to second guess up here, but obviously, again, not to be too critical, but Clearview's done a phenomenal job in their play calling, their special teams. I mean, this is a team that is on a roll right now, not only in terms of the season, but in this football game.
Yet they only lead by 4 points.
But I think you know, if you ask Mark Deal, would you take a 4-point lead heading into the locker room? Of course you'd like a lead, but on top of it, I think going in, there's a certain aura about playing here at Washington Township, and this is the first time the Pioneers have played here in some time, and that's a credit to these players to come in here and step up immediately. First down and 10 for Valori. And Valori trying to buy some time. He's going to heave it. It's going to be a jump ball at about the 40-yard line, in and out of the hands of the Township receiver, and that will end things here in the first half. Well, it's been an exciting first half and a well-played game by the Clearview Pioneers, and the Township Minutemen will head to the locker room. Clearview on top by 4.
Hi, I'm Joe Helder, 4-time Emmy Award winner and producer for the Eagles Television Network, and I got my start at Gloucester County College.
And I'm William Rennells, and I'm getting my start at Gloucester County College.
For more information, call 856-415-2209 or visit gccnj.edu.
Welcome back to Washington Township High School. Palestino kicks it away to start this second half. Clearview takes it at the 22. They'll fall on it and down the football. So first down and 10 Pioneers. They have a 4-point lead, and Clearview
Number 23.
will come out with possession. They've had a lot of success, Shawn, pounding the football inside. We'll see if that's where they start things. Garwood and Eisenhart have been a terrific duo.
What's kind of interesting, Rob, if you look back at that first half, you really think that Clearview, it looked like the score might be a little bit even more than what it is with the Clearview in the lead. They had the problems on special teams with Washington Township. Clearview comes down, gets a couple scores early. But Washington Township had just a couple of big plays, whether it be an interception or a long run, to keep them in this one and keep them active. And that's scary coming out of halftime. You look at the score, you're only up by 4, but you feel like you did a pretty good job in that first half.
Eisenhart picks up 2 or 3.
That's why I think this first possession of this second half is really important for the Pioneers to not only get back some of that momentum it had moving the football in the first quarter, but also to, tear up a little bit of that clock, get a nice drive, maybe move the chains a couple times, a couple big plays, and get on the scoreboard again. Conversely, Washington Township, they figure they stop them. Hey, listen, we're a big Charlie Hoff run from taking the lead.
Second down and 7 for the Pioneers. 3 receiver set. Eisenhart again keeps. He'll pitch. And tripped up in the backfield. It's Sicca.
Outstanding job on the outside. It might have been Rappo on the outside. Wrapping up Sicca on that play.
Loss of 1 yard on that play.
Good job by containing Sicca, not allowing him to break a tackle, get to the outside and pick up a large chunk. See some of the big fellas for Washington Township. You saw, I mentioned earlier, Anthony Costa, also John Whelan, old Wales. Actually, it's Whalen, not Whelan.
Third down, Eisenhart. Play action in the pocket, throws it up, has a man wide open. It's Sicca at the 35-yard line, and now it's a bunch of Minutemen that will bring down Sicca. But again, a breakdown defensively as he was wide open.
Yeah, and that's going to really give Coach Wechter some fits, because he's way behind the defense there. There was a good 10 yards, and nice job by Eisenhart spotting him. Now, Eisenhart doesn't have a huge arm, but again, very accurate passer, a little bit of a rush in his face, and you see there was no one around Sicca. He's able to pick up a huge gainer until McInnes is able to bring him down.
The Minutemen are, frankly, fortunate that Eisenhart couldn't get it down the field a little bit further, as there was no one within 10 yards of Sicca.
If not further, a little quicker out there, not able to spot that, but a nice job by Eisenhart, able to look downfield, and that helps out, Rob. When you got his great size, again, you're able to see over that rush, you're able to see downfield. He heaves it up, and a big gainer.
Second down and 5 for the Pioneers. Opening drive of the second half. 9 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary on the Gloucester County Educational Network. Happy to bring you exciting high school football from Gloucester County. Clearview and Township, first time meeting in some time here in this West Jersey football league. Eisenhart again will keep. And again, they're softening up the middle of that Township defense.
Nice job. You see some of those guys for Clearview along the line. Remember, they're missing one of the guys that played both ways. Matt Pike, number 73 there. Missing Dan McKay, a senior, 6'2", 230. Number 70 not in there. They'd like to have him back, though, at some point during the year. They won't have Kerball back. Again, Kerball, that senior running back linebacker.
Eisenhart keeps on his feet all the way into the secondary, slung down, but not before a huge pickup.
Again, getting behind some of those big guys. Mike Emma.
15-yard gain for Eisenhart.
See right here, he's going to follow his center. Terrific block by Emma.
First and goal.
And Eisenhart
Clearview, the ball
finally taken down, but has first and goal. Now just inside the 10. The good job by Emma not only getting that snap off. Center, such a hard position to play, Rob, and you have Emma who's not only being able to get that snap off, but then put together a terrific block.
McGinnis with the big tackle. Here's Garwood. Garwood driving, but nowhere to go. Maybe a yard.
But getting back to Emma, the center, try to get in some of these big guys. They don't get talked about too much, but this kid who did a lot of lifting during the summer, a lot of squats and push presses, and you know, one of the guys that I'm sure he's looked up to is his uncle Pat. Pat Gorman played football at Rutgers University, was an outstanding offensive lineman for Clearview. Grandpa Jim Gorman was the former wrestling coach at Washington Township, Rob, so a little bit of roots here. Kid's in the top 15% of his class. Talk about the Gormans at Clearview. There's some big names there.
The pitch, and the ball's loose. Another turnover, and Township falls on the football. Well, twice now in the red zone, Clearview has coughed up the football via a fumble and an interception.
Johnny Murad, and here it is, pitch to the outside. Going to try to find some running room to Sickett. The ball's going to get squirted out there, and you got to hold on to that football again. Get a little helmet on that ball, pops loose. Nice job that time by number 44, Ryan Wills. Wills is able to pop that ball out.
Valori working out of the shotgun in his own end zone. They'll hand it off, and a nice pickup for first down yardage.
Huge opportunity missed again for the Pioneers, Rob. It's been happening a couple times tonight.
Charlie Huff has been a thorn in this Pioneers defense. Inside is 7 minutes.
2 yards to go.
Second and 2. Valori keeps. And he'll have more than enough for the first down. So some breathing room here for the Minutemen. That's a big first down.
One of the kids on the team, Joe Cotton, on this Washington Township team, we asked him, you know, what has inspired you this year? He talked about Ryan Willis inspiring him. He said before this year, Willis talked to him right before each kickoff. I'll never forget.
And
Nice play
dropped for a loss.
That takes number 3, Cordell McGinnis.
McInnes, nowhere to go.
See here, no opportunity there. Trying to get McInnes in the open field, and a nice job playing behind the line of scrimmage is that Clearview defense. I mentioned again, talking about Wills and his inspiration to this team, and he talks to those young players, say, listen, I'll do anything for you. I'm right beside you. I won't let you down. I got your back. And that really gives those young guys confidence.
Laurie steps, has his man underneath, and he is dropped just before the first down, and now a penalty flag. Penalty flag impaled one of the Minutemen players.
Yeah, Matt Long he didn't understand. He thought somebody patted him on the backside.
Penalty against Clearview for grabbing the face mask.
5-yard variety, but that's enough for a first down.
That's what's important right now for Washington Township. Move the ball, move the chains, get the ball out of your own territory, try to sustain some drives. And again, you know, they're one big play from taking the lead here.
Valori, and he is cut down.
And they're going to have to go in this second half without Nick Caldwell, who had a hip pointer, who's dealing with that, so they lose Caldwell. And also Robledo. We talked about Robledo a couple times and mentioned his name, and he had what they think may be a possible concussion, so they wanted to keep him out. So they're going to go out 2 of their big name players in the second half.
Second down, clock continues to move, approaching 5 minutes left. Township may have gotten away with some movement. Little swing pass, and Huff moved, but I didn't see any penalty flags.
Knocked out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
Get a good look at the elusive Charlie Huff. He's been quite busy tonight, scoring the lone touchdown for the Minutemen. We're exactly at the 5-minute mark. 14-10 Pioneers. Out of the shotgun. Deep drop for Valori. Now flushed out. Still on his feet. He pitches. Heads up play by Valori. And that'll pick up some yardage. Maybe.
This is the previous play where Rob said he might have jumped a little too soon. Look at you. Like eagle eye up here. It was picked out.
So maybe a pickup of 1 at the most on that play, but a heads-up play by Valori will force Palestino and the Minutemen to punt it away to Sika and the Pioneers.
Did you order that replay? Say, listen, I'm going to make myself look good here.
I did not. I have to credit our director, Stan Ritter.
All right. Good punt.
High punt here, and a fair catch called and dropped. And it is the Minutemen who come away with it. The 3rd turnover of the night for the Pioneers. Just what the doctor ordered for the Minutemen.
They have to take advantage of these turnovers, but Clearview really shooting itself in the foot. A couple of turnovers, a mistake on a penalty here and there, and the Pioneers playing with emotion tonight, but also making some big-time mistakes. This one's going to go right through, and you can see where he pulled his head down. They're going to look at seeing where. I mean, if you're calling a fair catch, there's no other reason to look down. I mean, you're just looking up, catch the football, and go. But it looked like he might have peaked a little bit.
Well, Sika's had his peaks and his valleys tonight. Fumbling the last 2 times he has touched the football. The pitch. Stringing it outside with room. Huff cut down at about the 11-yard line. Striked at the 16-yard line. That'll be just shy of the 1st down.
Joe Rabick for Pioneers on the play. His dad played running back at Lehigh University, was an all-city high school football player at St. Joe's Prep. 5'11", 170 pounds, plays in that lineman spot.
Valori hands it up, right up the gut, touchdown! Montejardi has put the Minutemen ahead. Well, the Clearview defense finally folding after 2 tough turnovers.
You can almost sense Washington Township was going to put it in after that 2nd turnover. You can only give a team like this life so many times, and they're going to be able to take it. Now Washington Township with the chance to take a lead. And early on, Rob, it didn't seem like Washington Township was going to even sniff a lead in this one. They just didn't start off very good. The 3 and out, and they allow Clearview to come right down and drive down the field. They were able to answer that, but it just didn't seem like there was a sense where Washington Township was going to have a good night. Now they have a lead. You see Bollendorf, big number 66 with a block. Montejardi goes in, almost stumbles on his feet, but able to.
And again, it looked like Sika, who had an opportunity to make that tackle. He's had a tough 3rd quarter.
Saw Bollendorf, call him Butters, name affectionately given by his teammates because he wasn't able to catch a football, but he's a lineman. He's getting a little bit of interest in Penn State, Rutgers, University of Delaware. Wants to major in mathematics.
The 10th annual Spirit Parade will kick off.
Really a smart kid, strong. Terrific block on that last play.
And the next one will feature the crowning of the 2010-2011 homecoming queen. Followed by our big spectacular
Sister Erin played soccer Washington Township her freshman year at William Patterson. Sister Bridget played lacrosse at Washington Township High School. Also played freshman year at Kutztown University. Now a guy like Big Joe Bollendorf, you can almost assume what his hobby would be.
Squib kick taken at the 32-yard line as Township again, a loose football.
Wow.
Who came away with it?
This is Minutemen football. This is going to send Coach Mark Dillon to fits.
Township football. 3 straight touches by the Pioneers have resulted in 3 straight turnovers.
See there, man, that ball just squirted out. It wasn't even a hit on that play. You can see it squarely comes out of the hands.
Mike Waldman, who is a running back, so it's not like an interior lineman running the football. And right now, Mark Deal has to be scratching his head. Pitch. And now another fumble. It's loose. But right now, it's the Minutemen winning every loose ball. Yeah. Second down.
Pioneers not taking advantage of the opportunities. Now Washington Township needs to take advantage of the opportunities given to them by Clearview. Just a funny game, Rob. I mean, just sometimes the games kind of take on a personality. This one. No rhythm. No, nothing at all. I guess it's an impersonal joke. No rhythm. It's real funny to us, and not funny to anybody else.
Working out of the eye, Valori, 2nd and 13. Deep drop. Now we'll tuck it under, and he's going to be sacked. Valori brought down, and he will lose about 10. And some chippy play downfield. Either team could easily draw a penalty here, and both coaches have to reel in their players at this point.
Loss of 6 yards in that play. 3rd down, 19 yards to go.
See here, playing in the backfield, the Clearview Pioneers, they get another opportunity behind the line of scrimmage, and this time they make Valori pay for it. Nice job by Sayus Murphy. This is a long 3rd down. Wind picking up a little bit too now, Rob.
That's correct. 3rd down and 18. And now, timeout called by the Minutemen. Well, you know, you talked about the personality of this game. I don't know. It's like schizophrenic.
Yeah, it's just, you know, Clearview seems at some points to really have some semblance of control offensively and just giving away the football, just not protecting it well enough. And Washington Township, you know, they haven't done anything to wow you, but they've had a couple big plays in the game to keep them not only in the game, but now with the lead. You see there, when whipping around here at Washington Township. This is kind of a field also, Rob, where it, you know, it's almost, you know, allows for the wind. You know, there's certain fields, Shalleck comes to mind. You know, when you get down to Shalleck, the wind's always whipping around. Washington Township's another field, always seems a little windy here.
3rd down, we'll call it 18. Valori out of the shotgun. 4 receiver set. Again, a deep drop for Valori. Down the middle, across, picked off at the 36-yard line. The Pioneers will come away with it, and they will return it to midfield. So the Minutemen return the favor with the turnover and good field position.
And that time, it was just an ill-advised pass by Valori that time, trying to make something happen. You got to be careful with the football, especially that you got your lead now. You know, neither one of these teams seems like they really want to finish off with a win in this game. Making mental mistakes and also mistakes that probably both quarterbacks shouldn't have made.
No, they called a push in the back there by Eisenhardt. I don't think that was a very good call.
Yeah, I didn't see that either, but you know. Yeah, that's one Valori would like to have back, Rob. You come trying to make a play happen on 3rd and 19, but you have, you know, someone in triple coverage You don't want to force the football there. Based on what we've seen from their punting, however, in this game, maybe is actually a plus, though, an interception and blocking the back.
First down carry, about 3 or 4, as the clock continues to tick away. Inside of 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Garwood, this Clearview offense hasn't been on the field in some time, given the vast number of turnovers they've had. And we talk about rhythm all night, Sean. They're going to have to try to regain that rhythm.
And I think they're able to do that by giving the ball to Garwood instead of going with what was working for him. Eisenhart and Garwood.
Eisenhart driving forward. He'll have enough for the first down.
Right, you just want to keep moving the chains, secure the football, continue to try and not only hold the football, but also get a little clock down, see if you can punch one in, and let your defense get on the field. But they've been able to move the football. They just haven't been able to punch it in because of the mistakes they have of not being able to secure the football, that is.
First and 10. Eisenhart keeps. And he'll pick up about 3.
I'll tell you that, as a linebacker at this level, at the high school level, that you see that fake to the fullback, and even if you pick that up, you have Garwood coming through the line with his 6'3" frame coming right at you, and right behind that is a quarterback who has, is similar type of build as Garwood. So there's a lot of manpower that's coming at you if you're a linebacker trying to stop that inside play.
Eisenhart again, he'll pitch. Sicka. And Sicka angles towards the sticks. Should be enough for a first down with 2 seconds left in this third quarter.
This is what's kind of fun too, Rob. I'm a little sick. I love sports, like most people who are watching here tonight. But it's almost like art when you see this type of an offense working in motion with a quarterback where, you stick the ball in on a belly play with a fullback. The second play, you're going to follow your fullback into a hole and pick up 7 or 8 yards. The next play, you're getting to the outside and pitching it to your halfback. It's just fun to watch a quarterback work this type of offense. It's really, if you really like the game, it's just a really neat offense. Although it doesn't have the big play type of feel, it's just neat to watch this offense when it's working.
Well, I mean, if you're a defense, you love this type of offense as well, because you just continue to pound the football, possess the football, and keep you fresh. Eisenhart keeps, and he'll tuck it underneath, picking up 7 or 8. That'll be the last play of the third quarter. We will head to break. Stick around for an exciting finish here as the Pioneers and the Minutemen are locked up in a close one. It's the Minutemen by 3. Welcome back to Washington Township High School. Fourth quarter about to get underway. The Pioneers and the Minutemen in a West Jersey Football League matchup. Haven't heard that before, have you?
No.
At least not any time recently. What do you think about the new West Jersey Football League, Sean, as things have transpired?
It's a good question. I always like change. I like something different a little bit, and seeing the different matchups now. And, as schools increase in size here with Williamstown and Clearview in the Tri-County Conference, I think they kind of belonged with the big boys anyway. Yeah, I kind of like it. Not a whole lot has changed, but I think where it has changed was needed anyway.
Eisenhart enough for the first down now. Sean, you and I have been together as broadcast partners for, I want to say, anywhere from 12 to 15 years. Is that a fair estimate?
Maybe a little bit shorter.
A little shorter? Yeah. 10 years at least?
Yeah, I'd say 10 years.
At least 10 years.
10 years. We'll
and
call it
the first thing you say is, I like change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Just checking on that.
Wait, you don't think I know? Because what, I've been sticking around with you for 10 years?
Or the other way around.
Well, I had nowhere to go. There was so many options out there. This is pretty much it for me.
First down and 10. And another pickup of 5 yards. I think Stan, our director's taking this down as well. You've been with him for even longer than me.
Yeah.
Stan's down there. Note to self. Shawn wants some change. Likes it.
I like change. Any type of coins.
Second down. We'll call it 6.
You ought to change your attitude tonight.
My attitude? I like being around my broadcast partner.
Oh, maybe I took it. Thought we were going to go attitude up here. I kind of read you wrong.
You definitely got a good decaf.
That's the fourth quarter, folks.
Third down and 1.
This is the fourth quarter, and for people who are just tuning in and listening to us at the first time, fourth quarter usually we get a little loopy. I don't know what it is. There's usually one conversation that doesn't make a lick of sense to anybody else.
Third down and 1. This is a big play right here for the Pioneers in this offense. Again, trailing by 3, really outside of field goal position at this point. Eisenhart will hand it off, and that looks to be enough for the first down. So a big first down here for Clearview.
And there's been a couple times tonight where Clearview needed, in a big spot, and they went behind the left side of the offensive line.
And again, kind of changing things up a little bit as they typically pounded the ball with Garwood.
First and 10, Clearview.
See Matt Pike, number 73. Another kid that plays lacrosse. Dad played football at Bloomsburg. Playing a nice job at that left guard spot for the Pioneers.
Eisenhart keeps into the secondary, bulling his way forward, and picked up about 9 yards. Clock continues to move, as does this Clearview offense. So our director, Stan Ritter, has asked me to have you travel in the Wayback Machine. What was your first game that you did?
Honestly, I don't even remember the game we did this year. I really don't. This isn't even fair. You asked me about numbers, I'll remember that. But thinking back, you get back to me on this one. Second one.
I'll be right here. Second down and 1. Eisenhart. And we have motion penalty here, so this is going to come back.
Number 9,
and you get yourself in a second one, and then you have a legal shift that's going to back you up. It's just a tough spot for the Pioneers, and these are the mistakes that they have been making. Not only just penalties, but certainly not being able to hold on to the football when they have the opportunity to punch one in. They have Washington Township backed up a little bit here. But you turn a second 1 into a second 6 or second 7. That's something that is sometimes difficult to overcome. You have a little misfortune here. You come away with no points. That would be another huge opportunity wasted for the Pioneers.
Second and 6 for Eisenhart and the Pioneers. Eisenhart will hand it off right up the gut, and that'll be again enough for a first down. And Shawn, the Pioneers have really owned the middle of the field offensively. They got away from it, and that's when the game kind of turned.
Yeah, and you're right. They've had they've really had some good fortune by going with the big fella Garwood up the middle, or even Garwood being followed right behind closely by Eisenhart. And Eisenhart's been able to pick up some nice yardage. Maybe not huge gainers, but certainly 5, 6, 7 yards on his carries as well.
First and goal from the 10. Eisenhart on his feet, driving forward. Eisenhart, touchdown!
Number 7, George Eisenhart, 10 yards for a touchdown.
Well, you could sense the determination of George Eisenhart. And the Pioneers back on top.
Good job by Big George throwing himself into the end zone. And again, with another good read. No need to pitch that ball out and possibly even cause another fumble. Just going to take it in myself. Give the green and gold.
Tyler Murray on to attempt the point after.
Big extra point, up by 4.
And the kick is good.
Murray's kick is
Didn't have a lot on it, but was more than enough to put Clearview up by 4 with 7:57 remaining in this fourth quarter.
I can assure you that the excitement level on the opposite sideline in their stands is really at a feverish pitch right now, because you have Clearview, again, you know, they still probably think of themselves in some respects as still that Group 3 school. Even though they've graduated to the big boys in Group 4, with most of the sports, you get an opportunity to play Washington Township in football on its field, and you haven't done that in over 30-some years. They got to be pretty excited over there, and I knew this game meant a lot to that green and gold faithful. Here you see, again, the decision by Eisenhart. Going to make the read, cut it back upfield. Sees that cornerback going to sit, and he's going to just cut it back in. Uses that big frame to barrel over a couple of linebackers. 3 defenders on that play. Punch it in. Nice job by Sev. Call him Sev. You know why they call him Sev?
7 points.
Could be 7 points, but his number's 7.
Oh.
Jersey number 7. But you did come up with 7, so I'm impressed by that.
Thank you.
Totally get this tonight.
Something about the rhythm tonight.
It's just not there.
7:57 remaining. 21-17. Clearview about to kick it away. It's Murray. High kick, end over end. Taken inside the 10-yard line. To the 15 and cut down inside the 20. Ball's loose. Ball is loose.
They're going to call it down.
And our referee tonight, Bill Murphy, has said the ball down by contact. Be interesting if we can get a look on the replay.
Take a look at this return. Sees his ball come out. Nice job downfield of tackling by the Pioneers, making sure they don't get McInnes.
That ball was loose. That was a fumble. That's a huge break for the Minutemen.
Deal could find his challenge flag.
Handoff inside, and still on his feet. Huff, and he's finally wrestled down. Ball comes loose again, and they're going to say this one was down as well. That looked like a rodeo.
See the Pioneers now with that momentum back. Now they're tackling the football. They're getting after it a little bit, gang tackling behind the line of scrimmage once again. But you just got to be real careful with using that momentum against you. This is where the screenplay with Charlie Huff, could turn into some big yardage, because Clearview right now is just firing back, trying to get after it, especially in that defensive line.
Second down, pitch, Huff on his feet, cuts it back against the grain and cut down at about the 24. Third down, we'll call it 5 for the Minutemen. 6:50 remaining, fourth quarter.
You see Bollendorf on the bottom of that pile, along with Wales, John Wales.
Third down, we'll call it 5 yards with 6:20 and counting left in this fourth quarter. Critical play here. Valori pitches, it's Huff, deep in his own backfield, looking for space, outside, and he's not going to make the first down marker.
Yeah, and as quick as Charlie Huff is, sometimes those plays, and he's trying to set up his blockers, and it's not him because he can get to the outside. It just doesn't seem like that offensive line's able to get out there quick enough, and that play develops too slowly. When you have that type of an outside play, whether it's a pitch or anything to the outside, it's got to be quicker than that. If you allow the Clearview linebackers to get there, they're going to be able to go east and west with you, and they're just going to keep running you out of bounds. You can see here, he's looking for room, looking for space. Good block on the outside.
Great block.
But again, there's no one in front of him right now, Rob. There's nobody in blue that's in front of him making a block.
Montejardi pancaking his man, but just too many Pioneers. Fourth down, they're going for it. Big risk. Valori's throw, and a catch, and a first down. Oh, Wechter really gambling, and that illustrates the trust that he has in Nick Valori. Dan Simnor with the big catch.
I think this football found him. I don't think he caught it. I think it just kind of stuck right in there, and it's a terrific pass by Valori.
And you see he bobbled the football.
A little bit, but he's able to hold on. And you're right, he did bobble it a little bit. Good job by Valori. I mean, that is a gutsy call by Wechter and a terrific execution by the line. Holding that block, the slant pattern, and certainly Valori on the terrific pass block.
Out of the eye, Valori hands off. The first man, it's Montejardi again. He's been dangerous here in the second half. Finally cut down at the 38-yard line. You saw his earlier run. You saw his big block. And now it is the John Montejardi show.
But that would drive me crazy if I was Coach Dio. You have one guy tackling, and the other guys are kind of just running with the play. Again, it just seems like sometimes Clearview just slips mentally out of the game.
And a fumble. Ball's loose.
Fumble on the play.
And again, it looks like the Minutemen. They have fallen on seemingly every loose football.
Nonetheless, it's going to be 2nd and 12, and here just snap doesn't get back to Valori. You see there's a Pioneer right there, and kind of push back on the play, isn't able to jump on the loose ball right. They just haven't had the bounces go their way tonight. Had the Pioneers, they've made a couple opportunities for themselves, but the Minutemen have.
2nd and 11. Valori still under center, out of the eye. He'll pitch, looking, and Huff with some room. Angles outside, and still cuts it back inside the 20 to the 10. Huff is in for the touchdown. Clearview totally misplayed this.
You're exactly right, and I saw the same thing you did. In the outside containment, they took themselves out of the play.
Absolutely.
Just completely took himself out of the play by cutting to the inside. And I'm not too sure what he was looking at or what he was thinking about, but that allowed Huff to get to the outside and forget about it. When he's in the open field, turns a couple guys around, goes into the end zone. Nice run by Charlie Huff. Charlie, a junior.
Palestino's kick is up, and it is good. And Township takes the 3-point edge. You know, give Mark Wechter a lot of credit for making that gutsy 4th down call. And after converting, they end up scoring the touchdown to put the Minutemen ahead.
Take a look at this run by Huff, and you're going to see the outside containment for Clearview. Basically, I think you're going to be able to see it here. You're probably not, but right now they're going to take themselves out of the play by cutting inside. There's no one there. There's just nobody to the outside. You have linebackers and linemen trying to get him downfield. A couple of arm tackles. He's going to be able to split them right in half, and then it's the Charlie Huff show. He's going to turn guys around, make them miss. Use that body. The style points as he throws himself into the end zone. Terrific run and a nice quick drive by the Minutemen to answer.
Well, now it's going to be up to that Minutemen defense. They have struggled to stop Clearview outside of Clearview turning the ball over. 4:34 left, and that's a lot of time, and it's almost the right amount of time for this Pioneer offense because they like to run the ball. They've been successful with it, and it's going to take them time to move the ball down the field. Now, Palestino and the Minutemen have opted to go with the squib kick recently because of their struggles on special teams. We'll see what they do here. Remember last time, Palestino with the squib, it resulted in a fumble. And another one. Taken, 30-yard line. right up the gut, still on his feet, across midfield, down to the 45-yard line. And there is a Minuteman shaken up on the field.
Good tough run by Brendan Emilio Irving, sophomore. Give him a good size, just a soft. And again, starting on, you see Eisenhart, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns, 20 carries. Starting in Washington Township territory.
1st and 10. Eisenhart keeps, and nothing doing there. A big stop. Eisenhart has pretty much had his way this time, just a pickup of 1.
That was as nice as Washington Township has played that flex offense, doing a terrific job. And, you know, again, they played against this now for the 2nd straight week. Lenape running the same style of offense, but they're able to get the containment to the outside and force Eisenhart to try to cut him. There was nowhere to go with the football other than maybe try to get back to the line of scrimmage.
3:55 left. 2nd down. Eisenhart again keeps, pitches to the outside, inside the 40, driving forward, and Sika at about the 39, and now a late penalty flag here. We'll see who this is against, and I think it's going to go against Township, as Coach Wechter is not happy.
Nope, they're going to get a late hit. It's going to tack on 15 yards.
That is a huge play, because right now the Minutemen had the momentum. And there you see Coach Wechter, who is not pleased whatsoever.
Especially you had 3rd down coming up, Rob. And then this is going to obviously give him a 1st down, move deeper into Washington Township territory. That play worked a little bit better, again, from the initial push. So important in this type of offense to get that line, to be able to give some type of room for Eisenhart and that offense to run.
Garwood driving forward to the 21, a gain of 5. And if they're picking up chunks of 5, then that's a good formula for the Pioneers.
Initial hit number 93, Matt Loudenslager. The 5 yards not carried by Garwood. 2nd down.
2nd down, 5, inside of 3:10 now.
Matt Loudenslager on the tackle there for Washington Township, but nice run, bring it up 2nd and 5. Again, good push by that offensive line.
Little inside handoff, and that'll be enough for the 1st down, as Kozlowski.
I don't know if we got this play run up on the tape, but you're going to see Gabe Sloan, a sophomore, number 64. Watch number 64. This is bad news for defense. When you have the pulling guard who's not going to touch anybody until he's about 10 yards downfield, that means the defense did not do its job. No one there to even block Sloan getting in front of that ball carrier, and a good job by the sophomore, first getting to the hole and then blocking downfield as well.
2:30 remaining, ball at the 11-yard line. 1st down and 10 Pioneers. Eisenhart again with the handoff, driving forward, cutting it, and now to the 6 for Sika.
Now how about him holding on to that football there? I mean, he had it firmly wrapped with both arms around the ball. They know the struggles that they've had and the opportunities wasted. Now Clearview with a 3-point deficit here with just 2 minutes left to play in this game. A little bit under 2 minutes now, 1:50 and counting. They have plenty of options here with that pickup. Now, one thing you probably won't expect to see them is put it in the air.
Eisenhart pitches, it's loose, fumble! And Township claiming they have the football. They do!
But this is Clearview doesn't end up winning this game, this will certainly be one of the most frustrating losses for Mark Deal and his group because of the way they were able to move the football. They seem like they've been in control of the game for most of it, but every opportunity they have not been able to cash in, and they've been in the red zone a number of times tonight. They fumbled, I believe, in the red zone 3 times. Is that correct?
They have turned the ball over a litany of times. Remember going back that Township actually fumbled on the kickoff. It was ruled not to be a fumble, but the preponderance of turnovers have been on the side of Clearview. Hand off inside, and Clearview will immediately call timeout. Again, Clearview knocking on the door. A little bit surprised at that pitch play in so tight. You'd think they had softened up the middle of that line and maybe allow Eisenhardt or Garwood to keep pounding it inside. And now down to 1:24 left. This would be a heartbreaking loss for the Pioneers.
Yeah, I can't fault any of the play calling there. I mean, you got to be able to execute that. You go over it every single time in practice, and everything should go well. You know, just a little bit of carelessness with the football, but also give Washington Township some credit, Rob. They've been able to jump on every loose ball. I mean, these are guys, I mean, you have those drills in practice. You see Huff with 128 yards, a couple of touchdowns. But they have been on every single loose ball, every opportunity that they've given to Clearview, they've taken it away.
Second down and 7 out of the eye, Valori. And there was movement by Township. Now remember, if it is no rhythm.
No rhythm, there's no rhythm anywhere.
Remember that if Clearview can hold them, Township has had a whole host of problems punting the football. Now, what they may opt to do is take a safety.
Wow. Wow, look at you, Coach Christ.
Second down.
They don't want to worry. Right now, Washington Township says, you know, let's try and pick up a first down. But you're right, they're going to have some. They might have some thinking to do if that situation arises.
Again, Valori will hand it off, and not a whole lot there. Clearview, again, will quickly call timeout.
Turn up,
Inside handoff to number 4, John
Montajardi with the carry that time. They're not going to get too many yards, but just enough. They just want to keep it moving. Here you see Clearview 2-2 in the division. Shawnee and Penn Saucon right now, the class of the national division. See some good records in there, though, Rob. Shawnee 4-1, Penn Saucon 4-1. The Pioneers and Winslow both.
And that's the national division. East, winless, the only one they have against this Washington Township team, and that just shows you the parity that you have.
Yeah, and this division's suffered a little bit. You have Cherokee on top. Williamstown's still one of the very good teams. Lenape's a weird team. You're not too really sure where they are, whether this can catapult their season.
That's a good football team. Lenape's a good football team, but they've had such struggles over the years. You literally have to teach a team how to win. I think they're starting to figure that out.
Yeah, they might be. That's a good point. Lenape's one of those teams that, you know, get a couple wins. They do have some talent.
Third down. Valori pitches. It's Huff. Huff angling towards the outside. Huff on his feet. Enough for the first down. And that will effectively do it here. They can drop to a knee, and Township can celebrate.
And Huff makes the run and it'll go down, but McInnes, what an outstanding job blocking on that play. Getting to the outside, not allowing the defender to get loose and stop that first down from happening, and that's going to wrap up a huge win for Washington Township. And they want to protect the home field after a loss against Lenape. They've had a couple of tough losses. Come out on top of Clearview in this meeting that will certainly continue over the years with these two schools being in the same county, being Group 4 schools. Big win for Washington Township and Clearview. Still looking for its first win against that Group 4 school this year. They had the win against Highland and against Winslow Township. still looking.
Well, they certainly had every opportunity today. But Township, again, you got to...
Oh, yeah. Yep, absolutely.
You have to credit them with that gutsy 4th down call.
You know, when you're Coach Mark Deal right now, you're thinking, you know, what we could have had happen here tonight was come out with a win and go 4-2 and keep our playoff hopes alive. And we gave it away. We gave that opportunity away. So you're frustrated, but also you have to look at it as, hey, listen, guys, we can play with everybody. We can play with Washington Township, which is one of the biggest schools, one of the biggest programs, around, the biggest school around. And you got to feel pretty good about that. But you know, no one's going to feel good after blowing a victory, a possible victory for the Pioneers. Too many mistakes. How about Washington Township? You know, give them credit. 1-4. You know, not a lot of juice inside the stadium, not a lot of excitement. Guys like Villari and Huff who came to play tonight, and a good job by the offensive line and defensive line at times where they were looking like they were being pushed around. A couple big spots they came up and able to jump on some footballs.
One more snap, and that will do it for the Minutemen. Or so it seems, maybe not. That looks like it'll be enough as they are inside of 10 seconds. The referee's telling the players that no need for any more snaps. And the Minutemen come away with a victory over Clearview here at Washington Township High School. Your final score, 24-21. And the Minutemen literally escape with the win. Stick around for post-game interviews and a wrap right after this.
Welcome back, Washington Township, able to pull one out here in the 4th quarter. I'm with some of the stars of the game. I'm going to start out with the guy to my left. This guy's jumping all over the field. It's fun to watch you run because, you know, you kind of got that Barry Sanders feel where it just seems easy to you and make a lot of guys miss, especially in the open field. Something obviously you take to your advantage. Going up against Clearview, huge win. Tell me about your running style and just the way you're able to control your body, move it around in that agility, and also the field vision.
The vision that I have is something else for me. At least that's why I use my ability. My size is not the biggest, but I use my agility, get around the moves on the field, just make people miss, and that's my money right there.
And some people may not realize this. I mean, you're not the biggest guy around. You're certainly not the tallest, but it looks like you gained a little bit of power, though. You're not going down as easily. You just seem like you've gained a little strength in the offseason.
Yeah, well, 3 years in the conference, you really just get used to it. Like, sophomore year, it was a little struggle. I was little. Last year, got used to it. This year, third year starter, it helps you out a lot. Get your power back, get your feet under you, so it helps you a lot.
You're able to turn that Clearview defender around. Obviously, when you see that block made for you, you're getting to the outside. You had to think, I'm going in for 6.
Yeah, there was no one stopping me on that play. Had to hold my team out, get 6, and put 6 on the board and win the game for my team.
Congratulations to you. Best of luck. Second win of the year for the Minutemen. And Nick, this is a big game for you guys because, you know, 1-4, not your typical Minutemen type record after 5 games, but you're able to gut one out. And even though Pioneers take a lead, you're able to come back down and score. It's a big win for you guys. Tell me about the victory against Pioneers.
We're always used to, you know, the last 2 years getting out to a good start, and this year we really got off to a rough start. So, you know, we really had to. It was a big gut check for us, and no matter what, we knew we just had to fight back and win this one.
Coming into the game, you knew Clearview had to be pretty jacked up for this one. They face Washington Township. You know, they feel maybe like the little guys, and they're finally getting it into you know, the Group 4 and being able to play against some of the big boys. How important was this for you guys? Because I know it was important for Clearview. Was it as important for Washington Township?
We knew they were going to be fired up for this game, and they were a great team. So it was definitely a big game for us, you know, coming off a rough start. So, you know, just trying to get a win was definitely big for us.
How neat is it to watch Charlie run when you're sitting behind the line of scrimmage watching him run down the field?
After I hand it off to him, it's just, you know, it's awesome just watching him zigzag in the defenders. And our line does a great job of you know, blocking for him, so that helps definitely.
Well, congratulations to you. Best of luck for the rest of the season. And also here with my man Wills. Big game from you guys tonight. Big win. So important for you guys to get that second win. Try to get the momentum going for the second half of the season. How do you think this win can propel you for the second half?
We made a lot of mistakes, but we're able to keep fighting and get the win, and hopefully we keep going.
I was reading some of the things that happened up there to some of you guys, and it seems like a lot of inspiration, a lot of quality and character guys on this team. Is that something you guys kind of rally around? Because you read some of the the things that you guys wrote, and it seems like there's a lot of inspiration. I know, it just that's just the sense from reading that. Or am I getting the wrong sense?
Definitely. We got to carry these guys as seniors and just finish out the rest of the season and win as many games as possible.
1-4, obviously guys can just let down, say, okay, well, listen, we probably not making the playoffs this year. Let's just let it go. What's that say about the character of the team to pull out a win?
Well, it was a rough start, and felt good to get back on track.
Well, best of luck to you. Congratulations. And Rob, I think you're with the coach.
Here with winning coach Mark Wechter and coach, Shawn Leary and I talked throughout the game about how it just seemed like there was no rhythm to the game, at least initially. And I don't know if you sensed that, but it just seemed like both teams kind of were out of sync. As a coaching staff, did you feel the same way? And if so, how do you get your team starting to fire on all cylinders?
Yeah, certainly there was no rhythm there, especially in the first half. It just seemed every time they had something going, they had a turnover, and every time we got some momentum going, we either had a penalty or a hit for a loss that put us back a little bit. And we had some miscues on offense. We're trying some new stuff, with our I formation, run game stuff, and so we're still ironing out the wrinkles there. It's a good compliment to what we're doing with the spread, and so that caused some of that. And they were really a lot better defensively than I thought they were up front, especially. And so we had to make some adjustments at halftime to get some more inside movement with our run game.
You mentioned the I formation. It seemed as though the offense was far more effective when Valori was underneath center. And again, you had mentioned that you're instituting that. I mean, that speaks well to, the level of dedication you're seeing in practice, I would think.
Yeah, certainly. The kids enjoy it. Charlie certainly enjoys being at the tailback spot and having a chance to run behind Lee Rublito, who got hurt in the first half. And Montejardi came in and did a great job in the second half. But, to have that complement now, the teams have to prepare for both. And we can get into a third and long situation or fourth down situation, still be able to throw the ball. So you'll see more of that thunder and lightning kind of stuff throughout the rest of the season, I think.
I think the play of the game or the decision of the game, and you deserve a tremendous amount of credit, is, it's fourth down and you're deep in your own end. I think most of the people think you're going to punt the ball, but you decide to go for it. It turns out that you make it, and then you end up scoring a touchdown. First of all, walk us through the decision-making. Second of all, I think that speaks volumes about your confidence in your quarterback as well as your offense.
Oh, yeah, the slant was there for us with the formation we were able to get. We saw it, earlier in the first half, but my guys get mad when we punt, regardless of where we're on the field. So I didn't have a choice. They were pointing to me first, let's go for it. And they were right, because we were slowing their offense. We weren't stopping their offense. And if we gave them a punt, and they would run a lot of time off the clock, we felt the time was then to strike. And Simnor ran a beautiful route, nice, good outside release, and got them turned back to the inside. And Nick threw a great ball. So, we can throw the ball. It's just, I think the timing stuff now works a little better when teams have to respect the run a little bit more. So hopefully, again, that carries us throughout the rest of the season.
Well, again, Coach, congratulations on a big win here. I know it was a big game for both teams, and certainly should spark you to getting back to the winning ways that you've always been a part of as the head coach here.
Well, we appreciate it. We're going to work on it.
Good luck, Coach, the rest of the way. Thank you. Shawn, again, just kind of a game that really was schizophrenic in many ways initially, and it turned out that the team that made the fewer mistakes is the team that won, and that's often the case.
Right. I mean, you're Mark Deal. I think I talked about this before we came down to come down for our post-game interviews. If you're Mark Deal, I mean, there's two ways you attack this thing. You're like, oh man, we had an opportunity and we let it slip away, and that's a very disappointing feeling. But this is a team that's really a young program now, going into Group 4 for only its second year, and they say, listen, we played with Washington Township. Maybe it's not the Washington Township, we know about, who are 5-1 instead of 2-4 at this point. However, this is a Washington Township team that we said we can move the football on them. And I mean, look at it. Clearview outgained them, and I think in a lot of categories, it seemed like Clearview dominated the play at some points, but they dominated in an also wrong category, which was turnovers. And that is something that's going to be disappointing. But still, you say, okay, we can definitely play with the big boys. We can work with a Group 4 school and beat them. And that's the way it should be. I mean, they're a Group 4 school. You have to beat Group 4 schools now. The Pioneers played well. They just weren't able to come out with a win. But I think it's still a maturing process for that program. For Washington Township, this is a nice win that can like kind of get you into the second half of the season. And I was listening to the post-game huddle with Coach Wechter talking to his team, and he had said, listen, at that end of the drive, at the end of the game, that last drive, that's the most I've heard from the sideline. We need that type of energy from the sideline, and we got a fumble from it. Maybe that's not the cause of the fumble, but certainly, that inspiration, that energy from the sideline we noticed was not there, and then it seemed to reappear right at the end of the game. So maybe this is some type of a momentum changer for not only Washington Township's game, but also in the season, and that'll be seen over the next coming weeks. But they need to build on something. This is a win they can build on.
A lot of times when you talk about football or any other sport, it seems as though coaches get maybe too much credit or oftentimes even more so too much blame. And I know that Washington Township has struggled a little bit this year, and everybody in Township expects not only to win but maybe go undefeated. But if you look at this game, I thought this was an extraordinarily well-coached game by the Washington Township staff. Indicative is that fourth down call. I mean, it took a little bit of guts, but it also, it's not just we're going to flip the coin and go for it here. They saw something that they liked, that they felt that they could exploit throughout the game. When you see that the team had momentum, they seemed to continually go to the right call. And again, I thought it was a well-coached game by this Washington Township staff, and they deserve a lot of credit tonight.
Right, and something you hit on is it's always great to have a great game plan coming into a game. But I thought what Coach Wechter said is the adjustments made at the half, and knowing those adjustments, knowing what to make and how you're going to improve and how you're going to come back into a game, I think really speaks volumes to how good a head coach is. And I think you saw what Mark Wechter and Coach Mark Deal, coming from Gateway, your old stomping grounds, good coaches come from there. And that's good to see. Gateway with little school, these two guys have had some measure of success with the big boys. It's kind of fun to see, and congratulations to both of them.
Well, the final score 24-21. Kind of ironic, the difference. Special teams, 3 points off of the foot of Palestino. Special teams, a little struggle tonight for Washington Township, but that was the difference. Township comes away with a big victory over Clearview, 24-21. For my partner, Shawn Leary, my director, Stan Ritter, and all the crew, I'm Rob Chris. Thanks for joining us. Once again, Township victorious. Good night, everybody.